Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So our website is a smart camera website. It's called Neos, and this is something that actually exists in real life, but we use different images as to not get, copyrights or anything like that. So this is the landing page. This is the home page. Over here, it's just a little introduction about the company, and then kind of the background of what we sell. Over here, we have our camera section, and we have three different like levels of camera. One for basic home use. This one's for like our second generation and our third generation of camera. These are sales items. We also have a goodies page, and the goodies page is actually on sale right now, so we can go ahead and add that to the cart. You can go to checkout, and then we can go ahead and put in some information here. You can place the order, and then this is a summary page. And then if you want a printable receipt, you can go ahead and click this link, and it'll give you an overview of your items that you purchased. And then this is our admin page where you can add cameras or add inventory. We can see the sales. These are our past orders. This one was from earlier, and this one
Right.
was the
That's
one we
order
just did right
10.
now.
It was 1049. Okay, good.
Yep. Um, these are our past customers. Obviously, it's just the same person. And then that was just a log out page over there.
Okay, great. Can you log out and log back in?
Sure, sure. I have just like the autofill information in.
Mhm. Okay. Did you guys validate the login?
Um, we didn't have a chance to white box or black box test the site because we were working through errors.
Okay, so the login would have maybe vulnerabilities, you're saying? Wouldn't be,
Yes, yes.
it's not input validated of any kind?
We have a .htaccess file, but we weren't able to get through like
Okay, yeah, that's
technical
fine.
input
That's fine.
validation.
All right, that's fine. So we don't have to look at that. All right, so great. So you went to the inventory page. So you said you had some problems. You saw, you went through read the code. All right, so pretty much what everyone has. Okay.
And then I
All
can bring
right,
up the
good.
SRS
So
document of the
right.
questions.
So now that's the demo of the program, right? And then now the documentation of the testing, the SRS, and the questions. How did you just address all
Sure. I'll just stop sharing real quick so I can bring those files up.
of it?
So this is the questions document we started off with. Do you just want me to read through every question
Yeah, I
or?
mean, just, at your own discretion, but try to cover the important things.
Sure. So we secured the site's inventory with the .htaccess page, and that had the login and password. With the database user permissions, we created an admin account and gave it user rights to log in and actually edit control. And then securing the database password information, we created a hidden.ht password file, and that holds the encrypted password that the admin account created. We protected our module from SQL injections. Well, we weren't able to get to that step yet because we were running through the errors.
Okay.
And then the cross-site scripting, we also weren't able to get through because we were still working through errors.
But you know what that is, right? You know what
Yes, yeah, we were gonna go through it, but we just ran out of time.
JavaScript injections. Okay.
We didn't recommend the use of chroot because it's not reliable due to all the vulnerabilities that it has. because it allows users to escalate their privileges, which could allow them to exploit the site if they were able to get into our admin page and start messing with the prices. Same origin policy affects our website because it protects it from getting attacked from a script that originates access data from another origin. With our website, so unless the website has a way to prevent SQL injections, then it'll be vulnerable. But this could happen at any point of the website where the user is inputting data, so like text boxes or input fields is where we'd have to look out for that. And we left error messages enabled, so this way, if something did go wrong, the user could see what went wrong and then file a ticket with us so that we can go in and correct that issue. And enabling SSL and HTTPS protocols, this allows us to use the self-signed certificates to secure the website.
So you were able to resolve that issue?
Yes,
You
yes.
saw, but yeah, you guys were struggling with that. So.
Yeah, we were able to resolve that. And like I said, it does use certificates so that users are comfortable with using our site and putting in
Encryption.
information.
Okay.
In order to set up our website, we installed Apache 2 services and then took the e-commerce files and placed them under the var www html directories. And then we encoded the entire site in HTTPS. This way it wouldn't be bouncing back between HTTP and HTTPS.
That's what everyone does now. Yeah, that's good.
We didn't make any changes to this php.ini file. We weren't able to protect our site from this because we actually weren't able to get to that.
Okay.
We use stored procedures with our website because they improve the SQL database working with the tables. And then the purpose of authorize.net was to create a secure checkout page to validate credit cards and make sure that their information couldn't be stolen. And only the site admins are able to verify these payments and then ship the items. Major problems with the testing, like I said, we weren't really able to do any of that because we were working through all the errors and
I
bugs to
would
get the site up
recommend
and
that you
running.
include that in your final document, right? Doesn't have to be much, but just a template for completion.
Sure. We can create an Excel sheet and then run through that. And then we validated the input fields with the credit card, making sure to only verify an active 16-digit credit card number, as you saw earlier. If it's invalid though or too short, there's an error message that will display.
Okay.
And then the purpose of the .htaccess file is meant to create an admin login for the website. So this will prevent users from getting into the admin page and, like I said earlier, making changes that aren't authorized.
And that's one of many things that it can do. So there's a few others.
Right. And then in the future, with new PHP versions or old commands, our site admin or site engineers would have to go in and update everything.
Great. All right, and then you have an SRS.
Yes.
Yeah, IEEE, just go over that. Again, just to make sure you did prepare.
So we were on version 1.3, I believe, of the website. Here's a brief revision history. We were just working through it. I started earlier this year, and then we were just working through errors and working with you and trying to get the site set up correctly.
Okay.
These are all the group members and their jobs. So the introduction, the Neos smart camera e-commerce page was just a website set up to sell cameras, and through this document we'll see the software and hardware requirements, and then it'll kind of go over the functions of everything. So administrators will be able to follow the product through the sales flow from stocking to shipping, and then the site will also be able to accommodate new products, removal of old products, sale tracking, and database administration. For the software to be implemented, utilized, and maintained on the environment, the user should be ready to create web servers, use PHP, my PHP admin, database administration task, and SSL and HTTPS protocols. Ours was run natively on a Linux-based system, Ubuntu, with Apache services, my PHP admin, and then the SSL protocols along with authorized.net for the checkout process. Product functions, users would pretty much arrive at a home page and then from there navigate to an item, add it to the cart, and then check out. So any engineers, like site engineers for the site, should have a good background with Apache services, the HTTPS protocols, and then my PHP admin for database work, for future upgrades and maintaining the site. Some just assumptions and dependencies. We kind of just assume services like Apache will be updated and maintained. And then with future releases, we'll have site engineers go in and validate testing just to make sure there aren't any errors anywhere or vulnerabilities that hackers could exploit. Our user interfaces were Windows 10 just for general research use, the Ubuntu Linux operating system. We used desktop towers and laptops. Some software we used was VMware, Ubuntu, and PHP MyAdmin. Communication was just Discord mainly, getting together with the group and working on it. Some functional requirements. So like I said earlier, the Neo site was designed to sell smart cameras for the home or for the workplace. The site uses PHP scripts and functions, and this allows the site to calculate the price of shipping as well as handling automatically. The site processes all user information and stores it in a database that only the site admins can view, and that was on the admin page we were looking at earlier. Once the items are shipped to customers, they're sent an invoice listing the cost of goods purchased, and they were able to print that out too, so that was after they checked out. And then admins of the site should be available to assist and help customers whenever an error occurs. We said the performance, the site should be up and running 99.5% of the time, with only 0.5% of the downtime being for maintenance or upgrading the site, and that would be overnight. As far as reliability goes, all customers should be able to check out without a problem, purchase an item, and not have to be worried about their private information being stolen. It's all a secure web environment. The site should be up and running, like I said, 100% of the time, but 0.5% of the time, if it's down for maintenance, that's just necessary just to make sure that the site stays valid and isn't open to exploits. The site's currently running on the newest version of PHP and PHP-admin. Like I said, if in the future that ever needs to be upgraded, we could go back in and upgrade that. The site uses MyPHP's database feature, and that's just for easier use than to go through other programs. And then any changes to this SRS should be made by sysadmin or any other administrator, whether it's networking or any other framework that needs to be laid out.
All right, so good. So do you have any diagrams or anything?
We don't have any diagrams.
But just remember, you saw other groups. Maybe you would have some diagrams.
Yeah, we could go back in and add those for the sales flow and stuff like
Great.
that.
Great job. So all you were missing is the testing templates, right? So just add that as an appendix.
Will do.
Should be enough. Okay.
Okay.
Great job. Thank you very much. Are there any questions for this group? All right, great job. Thank you very much. So do we have any groups left? Or was that the last one?
We need to go still.
Oh, okay, Brenda. Okay, so go ahead, guys.
All right. Yeah, let me get the screen share set up. Screen tool. Go ahead and exit that. Okay, so we used a virtual machine. Oh, sorry, it's Sydney Smith, Ryan Sparling, and Brandon Bearhead.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so we used a virtual machine with remote desktop access, so everyone could work on it whenever we needed. We have SSL enabled. I actually cleared all my Firefox settings so I could show that It's just a self-signed certificate.
Mhm. Where is this? Do you have this on the web, you mean? I see you have a URL there.
No, that's just our local DNS.
It's
It's
on a
stored
local
on my
machine?
desktop.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're at your home? Oh,
Yep.
yeah, well, you're all at home.
Yeah, that's why I set up
Sorry about that.
I
Okay.
set up XRDP.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So we sell bananas and mugs because make a banana smoothie or something. Brandon.
Yeah. So yeah, you can. That's just the home page, and there's the bananas page where you can select different bananas. There's purple, red, and yellow varieties.
Did you actually know that there are over 1,000 varieties of bananas?
A lot. And I also know that in a few years, the brand that we all eat will not be available anymore.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
saw something about that.
So
It's pretty
it's a
sad.
real problem. And apparently the bananas that people had in the 50s were better.
Whoa.
Go ahead, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can choose how many bananas you want, whether they're ripe or unripe, and whether they're cut up for smoothies or they're whole. So you can add that to your cart. And then if you want, you can move it to your wish list. And from there, you can move it back to your cart or remove it from the wish list. Yeah, there's only 4 left in stock, so you can't do 5. So you can do up to 4. Alright. Yeah, then you can check out. I'll ask for your shipping information. I'll ask for credit card information.
Yeah, 1 second. I'm pulling up the. There we go. I had to pull up one of the test numbers. Oh, why is it not? Paste. There we go.
The only thing we couldn't get working was the actual authorized.net functionality.
Oh.
So
Okay, let's try the Amex test code.
once we get a valid card number, it'll give us a 500 error, which we couldn't figure out how to fix.
In time.
Yeah. So
But does
on
it
Firefox,
does it record the order in the system, or?
no, it doesn't properly record it.
Oh, yeah, you can also see we've got sales and.
We've got the admin pages, which prompts you for authentication. Try to go there.
Folder itself, password. Okay. And then you go to orders, right? There's no order here.
Yeah, no, because it wasn't fully processed.
Yeah, something with your authorized.net. Did you
Yeah.
guys disable the email feature? And so after the authorized.net, there's an email feature.
Yeah, we never disabled that or anything. We just were never able to get it working. So since it won't process the payment, never shoots an email.
Yeah, so okay. So if it's working, you would see it in the authorized.net itself, and in the
Correct.
account that you created, you would have some kind of a transaction that was recorded.
Yeah,
Right.
and there's nothing on the authorized.net that comes up either.
Then it would mean it's probably somewhere in the authorized.net.
Hmm.
Okay,
We can
Right.
set up new sales.
keep going.
And we can add products, kind of. I can't. Brandon, what was the the links for these again? I closed my Discord.
Was it add underscore specific underscore coffee .php? Oh, that's not it. Hold on. Oh, coffees plural.
We do have this. I just haven't been able to actually, like, we had this working earlier, but the hover's being weird. But yeah, so like you can add new types of bananas.
Okay.
You can, like Brandon said, you can say if they're set for smoothies or whole bananas, and you can set if they're ripe or unripe, and then like the types of bunches and how many we have and the price. I think that's it as far as the website goes.
Okay. So now go over the testing, the SRS, and the questions.
Okay, yeah, for that we're gonna switch to Brandon's.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so for the questions, I'll just go over those real quick. How did you secure the site's inventory and admin pages? We use .htaccess and .ht password files.
Right, I saw that.
For the database, we have administrators who have full permissions, and then regular users have limited permissions. And the password information is kept outside of like internet accessible directories, so that keeps it more secure. How did you protect against SQL injections? There's input validations and for all the text boxes, so it shouldn't accept any special characters. How did you protect against cross-site scripting? I went to the security.configuration file in the Apache web server files, and I added this line here. So this helps prevent cross-site scripting attacks. I would recommend using change root sandboxing because it helps a little bit. It's not the most secure way of securing things, but it helps. Same origin policy shouldn't affect our website because we're using HTTPS across the whole website. We prevent SQL injections by preventing any special characters to be submitted in any of the text boxes that's in the database. We left error messages enabled because we're in a testing environment. If we were to actually like deploy the site, then we would disable the error messages because that can possibly give out too much information about the environment that we're in and could cause problems. We use SSL, and that helps encrypt traffic to and from the site, so customers can ensure that they're using a secure connection. We used Apache, MySQL, and PHPMyAdmin to set up our site. We didn't make any changes to the php.ini file. I don't think we messed with that at all. To protect against clickjacking, we added another line in the security.configuration file, this line here. It was actually already in the file, it was just commented out, so we just uncommented it. That should help. We use stored procedures because it helps protect against SQL injection attacks. The purpose of authorize.net was to give the customers a way to process credit cards securely. Let's see, major problems doing white box testing of functions. It was pretty easy to break the code. You'd change one thing and it would pretty much break the whole website. So that was a major problem for us. Yeah, having simple syntax errors can break the entire website. Now, once we implemented input validation, there wasn't too many major errors. So a lot of that stuff got fixed. And for validating fields like credit cards, we just ensure that the credit card number is 16 characters long and that it's actually a valid pattern that's specified by each vendor. And the purpose of the Htaccess file is to restrict access to certain directories. It requires authentication. And in the future, we'd handle new versions of PHP by rigorously checking or testing before actually implementing any new versions. So yeah, those are the questions. We've got some of a little bit of testing here. And we just
Right, so
tested
this
some.
is your, what is it, a few pages and then some fields? It's black box testing mainly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's testing basically the input validation for text boxes on different pages.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what that is. And we've got the SRS here. We've got this mostly filled out. A few different versions. We just need to add some diagrams at the end here, but besides that, it's all filled out.
Okay, great. So looks good. All right, so you have the report, you have some testing template examples, you answered the questions, and then you did the demo. Okay, so great. Are there any questions for this group, guys?
Nope.
No, sir. I like their bananas.
Got
Thank you.
So great. Thank you very much. Great job, guys. All right. Who do we still have another group left?
I have to go.
Cruz? Okay.
Let me
Okay,
share my
so
screen.
next group, please. State the names of your team members and
Can you see my screen?
yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, I'm the only team member because my partner, I'm pretty sure, dropped, but they never told me anything. So
Oh, okay. So just Cruz. You did all of this yourself?
yeah, every single thing I just did on my own.
Oh,
Okay, so start off, I have HTTPS implemented, and like Sid did, oh, oops, rats. Like Sid did, I just left it here. I reset it so you could see it, and you can see it's a the certificate. I keep clicking the wrong thing. So there's that with HTTPS, and then so here's the web page. It's not, I didn't get to change it all the way yet, but I put a new picture here because my original idea was to make like a music store, an online music store where we could sell guitars. So one of the things I got to doing was at least putting a picture there. So, and some of the goodies, you know, I changed it to amps, pedals, picks, tuners. And so like for sale items, I was able to change it to like Fender Stratocaster, which is a guitar, and a Gibson. So if we try to add this to the cart, second. So when I try to submit the order, I have the same problem that that the other group had. It comes up as an error 500 on Google Chrome, but I'm in Firefox. So I'm not sure where I went wrong, but I do have, I'm pretty sure I have authorized .NET set up because here's my login.
does it get the transaction? Does it arrive at?
Well, when I look in the PHP My Admin, it will record me as a customer, but it doesn't have the,
Didn't record the new order.
one second. It'll record me as a customer, but it doesn't put in the order.
Okay. So before that step then, before the step of recording it, something went wrong in your code.
Right. I'm not sure what the issue is with that one.
Probably something with authorized.net.
But I have HTTPS, and I made it so that you can't jump like back to HTTP.
Okay.
So it's always HTTPS
Mhm.
for security. And I didn't get around to testing the admin pages yet.
Okay.
So let me just try and see if this does anything. Yeah, I didn't get to that part yet.
If you just type admin, it usually just works, right? It was already working.
.php or just admin?
Just admin. There you
Oh,
go.
so there's that.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is always working. And if you click on orders, yeah, so this is where you've seen all the other videos. It shows
Mhm.
the order that you. Okay.
So can't think of anything else.
You didn't
For
add
the
a
web.
login or anything, right?
No, I didn't get to that.
Okay. All right.
So I can't think of anything else. So I'll move on to the documents.
Okay.
Oh wait, I think I was already sharing my screen. Okay. So here's the questions. Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay, so since I didn't get around to implementing everything, I tried to answer these as I would implement them.
Okay.
So like number one, how did you secure your site's inventory? You'd have to create a login page so that everyone has to get authorized access to the page. So that way you don't have unauthorized users getting that kind of information. And how could you handle database user permissions? You can create users in phpMyAdmin and modify their permissions also. How did I secure the database password? I implemented SSL and HTTPS. How did I protect it? I wasn't able to protect it, but one of the ways I would have done that is by making sure that the input doesn't accept special characters. How did I protect it from cross-site scripting? I added this little bit here in header.html, which should prevent cross-site scripting, and I think most web browsers also have built-in protection from that. Would I recommend using Chroot sandboxing? I said yes, but I think it's more of like, what is your personal risk tolerance? So I saw a lot of people said that they wouldn't do that, but I think it's up to risk tolerance.
There are vulnerabilities. We didn't get a chance to do that lab, but there's a chroot lab. It's basically, it's a sandboxing of a folder, and you could, as with everything else, right, you could exploit a vulnerability to try to get out. That would be the problem.
Right.
But it's, yeah.
How does same origin policy affect it? It affects website by restricting how a script loaded from one origin can interact with another origin. It prevents attackers from loading unintended documents into the system and executing malicious code. How does the website handle Sql injections? Right now, there's no protection. It's vulnerable. Did I leave error messages enabled or disabled? It would be easier to enable them for troubleshooting reasons, but while it's in its vulnerable state that it is, if I were to like leave it like that, I don't think I would have error messages implemented, because I think it'd be easier for an attacker to use that to his advantage. But once it's properly protected, I would leave them enabled. What is the function of SSL? It encrypts sensitive information, which works perfectly for our application, which is sending credit card information and like people's addresses and stuff. You don't want anyone to get access to those things. Does the site use certificates? Yes, it does, as you saw at the very beginning when I had to accept it. What configurations did I have to do? I had to make sure the file paths were correct. I moved an entire folder, I think, into var ww. I can't remember which one it was off the top of my head, but I had to do that to make sure certain features worked. once an HTTPS page, how did I change the code? In the Htaccess file, you can update the file so that it redirects. Did I make any changes to php.ini? No, I didn't. I didn't get to predicting clickjacking. Why use stored procedures? Stored procedures can be used for data validation, and it saves a lot of time so that you don't have to reuse code, and it can be quick. Well, it saves time by reusing code so that it can be quickly ran over and over again, and you don't have to manually do it. It's a form of automation, which is really important. The purpose of Authorize.net is a payment gateway provider. It allows businesses to bridge the online world to the banking world. I didn't get around to these questions, but I will answer them before I submit. How did you validate input fields? You can validate input fields. This is already in there using the preg match function. You can see in the code that it's doing that right there. What is the purpose of the Htaccess file? The purpose that it would serve in the website mainly is for creating an admin page, but it's also just a powerful configuration tool. It can be used for many other things, which is part of the reason why it's hidden. In the future, how would I handle new versions of PHP and deprecated commands? I would update the page regularly and leave the code flexible so that it could be easily modified to support new updates. And the SRS is still a work in progress. There's not really much here yet. It's just kind of basic stuff, nothing too.
Right, but this is the IEEE format, so it gives you a guideline of,
Right.
Okay.
So I still have a lot of the
Okay.
like descriptions here, and then under it, I'm making it based off of that.
And you've seen the other presentations, okay.
Right. So that's not entirely done, but I will finish this before I turn in the project.
Okay.
And I have the testing Excel documents ready. I haven't gotten to these yet. I want to get the website as far as I can and then start testing.
Okay.
But I have
Just
everything.
have a template, and then you understand you will run some of these inputs and see their output.
Right. I have everything ready to go, so I can just do all the testing.
Okay.
Once I'm finalized with the website.
So you have black box testing and white box testing.
Right.
On one side, right? Function.
And I didn't answer those in the document here because I haven't done any of the testing yet.
All right. Looks good. Are there any questions for Cruz? No. No questions? All right. All right, great. Thank you very much. So do we still have anyone that needs to present today? Okay, so that is good. Great, great, great. So I'm glad. So as you know, this is not a web development course, so I'm not really evaluating your web development skills, right? So I'm really just glad that everyone, is aware of the things that are important, but great job to those that got everything to work too. All right, so that being said, we are done. I thought I was going to say something, but I may have. What was I going to say? Yeah, just finish up your materials. So all of this, remember, you have until the day of the final to submit your final submission, right? So that should include your slides. Don't include VMs, just you can put your code on GitHub if you'd like, or you can just include it as, remember how you got the files from me? You can also just do that. Zip all your files and put them in there. Also, a report, well, you're doing the SRS, so if you do the SRS, that should be enough. Put the SRS, include the templates as Appendix A, and include, please, the questions, okay, the questions. Questions and answers, obviously.
Do you have a Dropbox for that yet or not yet?
Not
I
yet.
didn't see anything.
Sorry, I'm still working on the these surveys that I have to redo. So what I'll do is when the ABET surveys are posted, I will also post a link. That way you guys will be looking out for all things, okay?
Okay, then you just said the SRS and what else was needed? Sorry.
Yeah, what you presented today. So in the zip file that you're gonna give me, please include slides if you had them. Please include your code. So just like I gave you code zip, you can also take now your modified code and zip it. Don't give me VMs. And then as far as the documents, the ones that you presented. So it would be the 24 questions and answers. You don't need to do a report because you have the SRS, just finish it up and you can put the testing templates as Appendix A. So you can have as many templates as you want in there as Appendix A and reference from the document. So yeah, you presented those 3 things, okay?
Thank you.
And then you can also include in your SRS links to your GitHub, links to the videos. I put those on the channel. So that should be, oh, and the last thing before I forget, actually, I remember now, the peer evaluations. So I put some peer evaluations. You do not need to fill those out if you did not have any problems. So only if you think that you need to, if you had a problem with your team members or something, then, you know, right now that I saw Cruz's project, he's alone. So it reminded me, do the peer evaluations only if you think you had any problems. And you'll find that in the project folder, okay? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. So that's basically it. I think everyone has presented, and as you know, today's the last day of class, so we made it. And now you just have left, I think, your CSRF lab. You can submit that until tomorrow, I think. And then final exam on Tuesday. I already gave you the time. And then just submit all of these files no later than the day of the final. Okay? As far as the peer eval, if you're going to include one, you can put it in your SIP. Everyone should submit, okay? Even if you all are submitting the same thing as a group, right? You can please all submit, because that way it's just easier for me to grade to find your submission in there. Okay? And that's it. You can expect 2 columns. There will be 2 columns for the project. One will be just like project demo, which is today, and then one will be project files. And that way, so you'll probably get 2 different grades. You know, one for the files because it's more finished, and then one for where you were today. Okay. And then I just divide them. So that's it. If you have any questions, stay. I'm going to stop the recording at this time.